So I'm grinding, I'm begging you please. Girl, come stop playing with me. You're the one I need. Let's make it rock, girl, don't you feel that chemistry? I'm feeling you, I really hope that's equally. I'm one call away, this is like 1, 2, 3.
Reacting to a true crime. Now listen, before we get into this, it's called a Hello Kitty murder in complete detail. So if you're not ready for this, hop off the videos. I'm just gonna say that from now before we even start anything. Okay? I'm not gonna let you watch this video if you don't want to watch the video. Hop off the video. Simple. Simple. Before you hop off the video though, leave a like. Hop off the video. Yes, sir. So we're gonna get straight into this. Stop right in.
In one of the most infamous crimes to ever come out of Hong Kong, a woman is held
One of the most infamous. Hold on, let me just make sure everything's right for y'all boys and girls.
captive, severely mistreated, and eventually murdered.
Yep. Okay, everything's right. I'm gonna have to pause the video if I want to talk, but it's okay. That's the best part.
However, what made this case so infamous is how they treated her after the fact. Got a packed schedule this fall and don't have much time to figure out what to cook? How about trying some more interesting food that's already chosen for you? Infamous.
Get your money.
Very infamous. But this is by far and beyond the case I've been most requested to cover. Since it's requested so often, I decided to dig deep into it as deep as I could and give it the whole in full detail treatment. I think that I'll be able to paint a picture as to how truly horrible it really is, and buckle up because it's disturbing.
Fuck. As I said, if you can handle it,
woman
hop
out
off.
in Hong Kong named Fan Man-yi. Fan did not have the best life, to say the least. She was abandoned in her childhood, forcing her
How do
to
you pronounce that again? I need to know how to pronounce that properly.
This is the story of a woman out in Hong Kong named Fan Man-yi. Fan did not have the best life, to say the least. She was abandoned in her childhood, forcing her to grow up in an orphanage. However, this would only be until she reached the age of 15, as that orphanage had an age limit in place. Given that she was never adopted and had no place to live, she soon became homeless. Soon after that, she became addicted to drugs. Fan ended up having to resort to prostitution, working at a brothel to get by and even feed herself. When Fan Man-yi was in her early 20s, she was able to get a job as a dancer at the Empress Karaoke nightclub. She eventually fell for one of her clients, who was unfortunately another drug addict who only ended up enabling her. Despite this, they got married in 1996. Her husband, however, soon began mistreating her. Still though, she stayed with the man, and they actually had 2 sons together over the next couple of years. Their fighting only worsened though. The neighbors would often wake up to not only the sounds of the children screaming, but the sounds of the couple themselves screaming as well, as they argued all throughout the night. By early 1997, Fan had already started working as a prostitute again out at a brothel called the Romance Villa in Kowloon. After working there...
Why she... Wait. She got married. He's a drug addict. What was I thinking? He's a drug addict. But at the same time, bro, he doesn't make enough money to pay the rent? Bro, why are you still working? I feel like...
There for a while, she ended up meeting a 34-year-old man named Chan Man-lok. Chan was said to have been a wealthy socialite well known throughout the area. Fan was immediately drawn to him as she was a prostitute who was addicted to drugs, and he was a drug dealer that also worked as a pimp. He would often pay her for long, all-night sessions where they would binge crystal meth, or ice, which he supplied. It wasn't too long before Fan was integrated into Chan's inner circle. She was there along with several of his little underlings, his henchmen, if you want to call them that. Chan Man-lok was a member of the Triads, a large Chinese organized crime syndicate. He wasn't someone to be messed with. Hell, he wasn't even someone you should associate with for your own safety. However, Fan got too comfortable around him regardless. One night, during one of their binges, she stole his wallet, gaining the equivalent of about $4,000 US. That would...
Oh, why would you do that? Oh my gosh, why would you do that? Oh my gosh, you stole from a gangster? Not only just any gangster, a member of the triad? Don't think I don't know about them. They're not Yakuza, but they're still the triad. We're not, like, Yakuza's just the most known, but triad's still dangerous though.
Proved to be the biggest mistake of her life.
Did she know who it was? Did she know
Chen
who it was?
found out about this and was furious.
Did she know
She agreed to pay him back with $4,000 that she was to earn from her work. He wasn't happy with this, though, and demanded $10,000 of interest. Fan stated that she would need a
14,000?
good amount of time to pay that interest off fully. Cham Unlock was furious about his stolen money. It wasn't even about the money, it was the fact that Fan even had the audacity to steal from him in the first place.
Bro, he's a member of one of the biggest gangs. Why would you... Did she know that? I don't even know if she knew that, bro. It's not even about that. You spend your time with this guy every single night. You think he's not going to notice that you took his wallet? If we're being 100% honest with you, she would most likely hide, if we really think about it, because he said that they would binge, what, crystal meth and ice? So she's probably high when she did it, so she was just took that shit like one time, so yeah, bro. Most likely what happened.
In March of 1999, he got 2 of his men to kidnap Fan and
This nigga that kidnapped her, this nigga ugly as fuck. God damn. Lord, please forgive me.
Take her back to his apartment on Granville Road. It was a massive apartment consisting of 5 bedrooms and was all decked out in Hello Kitty merch for some reason. Hello Kitty was on the curtains, on the bed sheets, adorning the walls, and there were even plushies all over the place. Chen planned to pimp Fan out and force her to work non-stop until her debt to him was fully paid off. But he was never satisfied with any amount of money she would earn. He kept increasing the interest on her debt more and more until it became impossible for her to ever pay him back.
Bro, how you just gonna keep it?
There simply wasn't any way that she could keep up with the constantly spiking increase to the debt. So in addition to making her work even more, the gang started taking their frustrations out on her as well. They began to hit her and strike her repeatedly very often. She would often be so bruised and battered that she couldn't even work. Despite this, the group would continue to get high and subject her to even more beatings. They enjoyed themselves far too much while doing so.
What's the point of this? What's the point of this? Think about it logically. What's the point of this? Why would you beat her? You already have her. She knows what she did was wrong. You already have her working as a prostitute at that. And now you're beating her to the point where she can't even make you the money? You don't even want the money. You don't want the money. But at the end of the day, it was never about the money in the first place. But fuck, like she was high, like she was sorry.
Often laughing at her pain. This was when things got really out of hand, and you may be thinking it's already out of hand, and you would absolutely be right, but it's about to get much, much worse.
Fuck.
The group that tortured Fan consisted of Chan Man Lok, the leader, Leung Wai Lung, a subordinate.
That ugly ass nigga. I just want to punch you. I just want to punch you in the face. Almost broke my monitor right now. I'm gonna relax myself. I'm actually gonna relax myself. I'm gonna relax myself.
Gangster of his who is said to have been either 19 or 21, and Leung Xing Cho, age 26, another one of his underlings. But there was soon one new member to that group, a 14-year-old minor named Ah Fong.
What?
She, although she had been reported to be one of the girlfriends of one of his underlings, ended up being a victim of Chan himself as he groomed her more and more over time. This girl, though, despite being very young and obviously manipulated, was ice cold herself. She very much enjoyed helping the group to mistreat Fan. She would even giggle and laugh hysterically while doing so. She took the opportunity to get creative and would even come up with her own ways to brutalize the woman herself. She was always ready and willing to join in. The group, unsatisfied at the amount of money Fan was bringing in, continued to mistreat her more and more. They tied her up, punched her, and kicked her all over.
Bro, this little fucking girl. Bro. What happened to girl power? What happened to you helping her because you were in the same situation? What the f... I thought you would have some remorse since you were in that situation at a point in time. No remorse. You're creating new ways. You're creating new ways. Yeah, okay.
They would force themselves on her repeatedly, as much as they wanted. They even forced her to eat excrement.
What?
They started hitting her with metal bars, hit her and stabbed her with kitchen utensils, smashed pieces of furniture over her, and...
You're fucking lying. Like, bro, what the fuck are we doing right now? That's not real. They didn't use a table. That's not
even
real.
tied her up in a standing position to use her as a punching bag. It got to the point that, one day alone, she ended up getting kicked in the head about 50 times. It has been said that Fan even got pregnant around this time, but the mistreatment continued regardless. When she was wounded, barely able to even move, the group would rub spices into her open wounds, to further ensure that she wouldn't be running away or moving much at all.
Whoa! You know when you just get those chills, like you could feel the pain, like holy shit, what?
They would burn her legs with hot candle wax repeatedly and even melt plastic over her legs. She was then forced to consume even more urine and excrement. The group would then force her to smile and say that she enjoyed all of these things. If she refused, they would just mistreat her even worse, getting even harsher with their punishments. All throughout this time, Fan's husband and kids wondered where she even went. They were left with nothing to do but worry about her and hope that she would come home. The group started getting more and more creative, utilizing anything they could find throughout the apartment that could possibly inflict pain, that could be used as a weapon. They would set plastic straws on fire and press them against the bottom of her feet until they were covered in painful burns and blisters. They would then hit her in the feet with sticks and whatever else they could find. All throughout this, they would throw chili oil onto her wounds and dump oyster sauce onto her face. They then made her drink the combination of oils afterwards. It was a game they played. If she didn't pretend to be happy, then they would beat her harder. They told her to smile while they burned her. It was a fun atmosphere, said Ah Fong. It got to the point where they started using Fan as a toilet, directly urinating onto her face and...
Now I'm gonna have to stop you there. Now I'm gonna have to stop you right there. Ain't no way that shit real. You're already doing a lot. Ain't no way no human really thought about that. Y'all niggas ain't human. Ain't no human really thought about that. That shit crazy. I'm not gonna lie, ain't no human thought about that. Ain't no. She's over no.
and sometimes even into her mouth. If she spat any of it out, she was severely punished. Ah Fong once even defecated into a shoebox and forced Fan to eat it, which she thought was hilarious. The group started wrapping her in electrical wires and hanging her from a hook on the ceiling. They would then mistreat her in any way that they wanted, usually hitting her with iron bars and leave her there overnight.
What?
Eventually, they stopped feeding her entirely. The bodily fluids they would subject her to became her only form of sustenance. They continued to pack her wounds with dirt.
No, stop. I can't even get through 1 minute. How are they still... Bro, what is wrong with them? How are they still doing stuff? This is not enough? I don't understand. Why is it still going? Why is it still going? I wasn't ready for this video.
spices, salt, and really anything else they could find to make sure that she never felt any sort of relief. Needless to say, after seeing the shape she was in, potential clients started refusing her services, meaning that she was no longer pulling in any money for the group.
And then that's what I'm saying! You beat her to the point where she can't even make money, so you just wanted to beat her.
On the floor, starving, drifting in and out of consciousness, while the group hung out and watched TV or played video games. She was broken, and playing with her wasn't so much fun after that, but we carried on anyway. There wasn't really anything else to do, said Ah Fong. Ah Fong would gladly participate in any of the horrible things the group did to Fun, enjoying it all the way, admittedly laughing at everything that happened to her. It was for fun, she later said. The full details of what Ah Fong did herself have never been revealed, but it's undoubtedly a very long list, even by her own admission.
Obviously.
One night, the group decided to go out for some drinks. To make sure that Fun couldn't escape, they did what they usually did. They tied her up and threw her onto the bathroom floor, locking the door behind them. This sort of mistreatment could only go on for so long. After about a month of this, on April 15th of 1999, Fun finally succumbed to her wounds and passed away, cold, alone, and in pain while her captors were out of the house.
That was all in 1 month?
After a few days, the group came back to the apartment. Ah Fong stated that she had to use the restroom. When she went into the restroom, she found Fun deceased on the floor. The men began to discuss amongst themselves. They needed a way to get rid of the body, but they couldn't decide on which method would be best. They even argued about what likely caused her death, obliviously, most of them believing that it was probably an overdose that did her in. Most experts agree, though, as you can assume, that it was more likely the actual injuries that led to her death.
The beatings, the constant beatings that she was getting over and over and over again. Fuck is you talk about? The constant beatings she was getting over with the metal pipes and you hanging her from ceilings and using her as a punching bag and giving her and cutting her and stabbing her and throwing shit at her, like, bro, and burning her. Don't you think over time they would have, but an overdose? Y'all niggas are fucking her. I'm not gonna let them get me on my body.
Death. So, deciding to put a pin in it for now, they decided to go to the arcade and play some video games, all while Fun laid in the bathroom. After a while, they came back home, went to sleep, and did nothing about the problem.
What?
The next day, while completely high, Chan came to a conclusion. He gathered up his little posse and told them, now she must be destroyed. They put her into the bathtub and got to work with a handsaw. Once the body was divided up into more manageable portions, they cooked each piece to prevent further decay and to get rid of some of the smell, boiling the pieces on the stove. Chan woke up Ah Fong, who was sleeping, and waved a bag of guts in front of her. He told her to go put them into some hot water to stop them from smelling. Leong Xing Cho was in the middle of boiling the head himself and called Ah Fong over to come and look at it. She said that she was scared and didn't want to look, but he said, it's okay, just pretend you're watching TV. She decided to give it a peek and decided that, he was right, it looked like something out of a horror movie. Given that this...
They're sick in their head. They're actually sick in their head. No, they're actually sick in their head.
Had already taken 10 hours, the group started getting pretty hungry. How they could even get an appetite while all of this is going on is maybe one of the biggest mysteries about this case, if you ask me. While boiling Fan's head in a pot, stirring it ever so often, they decided to throw some noodles onto the adjacent burner. They used the same spoon to stir their soup as they did to stir the head, alternating between the two. By the time their meal was over, the head was now nothing but bone. They decided to take the skull and sew it into the head of one of their Hello Kitty plushies, a large mermaid one. This is obviously where the name of the case comes from.
That's
it's
why.
Still unknown why they even decided to go through the trouble of doing this. Given how drug-fueled the whole operation was, it's safe to say that if there even was a reason, it might not make a lot of sense.
It doesn't. Now. They're all high on drugs.
For unknown reasons, they decided to keep some other bits as well, namely a tooth and some organs. However, they disposed of the rest in the apartment complex's garbage. Things were quiet for about a month. It seemed that they had gotten away with all that they had done.
Are you trying to tell me that you put this woman in the garbage? As I always say, I don't wish bad on people, but today, badness could never done. I need these niggas under the fucking jail. Under the fucking jail. Did I put my fucking camera out? I'm sorry. Hold on. I put my fucking camera out. You guys need to see me. I'm not doing this shit today. I don't know what happened to these niggas, but from right now, right at this moment, how I feel, these niggas need to be under the jail. As I always say, under the jail, cement, water, cement. Just in case they break through the cement, the water is gonna come down. And just because you broke through the first cement, that was your one and only time warning. The other piece of cement is coming down. Don't think you're getting out. And then we're gonna leave them down there. No food, no water, no light, no darkness. Everything dark. No food, no nothing. This is what you want to do to people? No, it's okay. I'm sorry. I shouldn't wish this on nobody. I'm sorry. But some people just, they get me out my body, like,
That all changed 1 month later in May. Ah Fong made her way out to a local police station. She told the police that she was being haunted by a ghost, oddly enough. She told the police that this particular ghost had been tied up in electrical wire and murdered. The police, though, given that this was simply a ghost story, didn't take her very seriously at all. They brushed it off, assuming that she was just having nightmares or being silly.
I'm so happy that she
This was, however, until Ah Fong told them that she had played a part in the murder of this particular woman. This obviously changed things drastically. The police asked her for more details and eventually followed her out to where all the carnage took place, the apartment. This is where they discovered that her nightmares were very much indeed based in reality. Inside, she pointed them to the Hello Kitty mermaid doll, and inside they found the skull. The whole group was found, arrested, taken in, and taken to trial. Ah Fong, which likely isn't even her real name, by the way, it's likely a pseudonym given to her by the court system, decided to testify against the other members of the group. She told the police that she was Chan Man Lok's girlfriend, but she was also very likely one of his prostitutes as well. When asked why they had done all of this, she simply said, "I have a feeling it was for fun." This case quickly became a spectacle all throughout Hong Kong. Most citizens had never heard of a case.
I'm not taking no remorse for her. She has to be in jail too. No, she has to be in jail too. She has to be. Because what do you do? You think you're getting away because you testified? No, give her a couple of years too. Ain't nobody playing with her. You think you're going to testify and just walk away like you have a part in it? You had a part in it. Put her in the cell too. Listen, I'm not saying she wasn't high out of her mind. At the end of the day though, she had a part in it. And she talked about, I think it was for fun. Her head is chip. If it's not jail, put her in an asylum or something.
It's coming anywhere near this magnitude before. Being a pretty safe modern city, they couldn't imagine something so sinister going on so close by. One element of this case that fascinated them was the terrifying juxtaposition of one of the most grisly crimes they'd ever heard of meeting with one of the cutest icons they could think of.
Facts.
The mixture of horror and innocence stood out to a good amount of people. The trial would go on to last for 6 months. Ah Fong went on to testify in exchange for complete immunity. In order to placate Fan's ghost and...
How did she get complete immunity? I don't care if she came forward and fessed up. I don't care. I actually don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. She needs jail time too. What is this?
And finally get some peace, she spilled all the gritty details. Every single disgusting detail of every single disturbing thing that the group did. She said that this was in order to relieve her guilt and stop the haunting. During the trial, material evidence relating to the case was presented to the courtroom. This included the refrigerator where the body was kept, the pots used in the cooking, and the actual skull itself. It has been said that the stench radiated throughout the entire courtroom. Psychiatrists evaluated the three men, who went on to describe them to the courts as being completely remorseless.
Yeah, I told you.
There was one massive roadblock to the case, though. Given the way that Fun's body ended up, there wasn't any clear, for sure reason to find out what actually had happened to her. They couldn't come up with a concrete cause of death given the evidence that they had to go off of. It could have been from the abuse, or it could have actually been due to an overdose. As a result, the men weren't convicted of murder, but instead of manslaughter. The jury had come to believe that they had indeed caused her death, but they couldn't agree on whether or not there was intent. They couldn't rule out that the men did intend to kill her, but they also couldn't rule out that they didn't. There was simply no way to know for sure.
No, fuck that. What? Did she not? So what was her testify for? What? Wait, what? She thought that up? What was her testify for? We know this happened. There's a dead body. The pots, the fingerprints. They chefed her up and they had a plan to get rid of her. They were going to get... I'm hot right now. It's some bullshit. I'm just gonna say right now, it's some bullshit.
Despite all of the doubts and the charges being reduced to manslaughter, the court justice, T.N.DU, was having none of it. In December of 2000, he sentenced the three to life in prison.
Ah! Let's go! That's what I'm talking about, Peter! Pete! My nigga Pete! That's what the fuck I'm talking about! Put those niggas under the jail, boy! Under the jail! Cement, water, cement these niggas, boy! What the hell? Life! You're never getting out, nigga. Stay in there for life! Fuck is you talking about?
Sadly enough, though, this sentence did come with the possibility of parole. It wouldn't be for 20 years, though. Never in Hong Kong in recent years has a court heard of such cruelty, depravity, callousness, brutality, violence, and viciousness, he said. The public is entitled to protection from people such as you. While if this had taken place in mainland China, all three would have likely been executed pretty swiftly, Hong Kong did not have a death penalty. Fan's husband came out and spoke of the sentencing. It seems that he was satisfied with them getting life in prison. He did, though, end by saying, "But how can I ever forget?" Ah Fong was released, free of charges, into foster care. It's currently unknown where she is now or how she turned out. The lawyers of the three men tried to...
Let me tell you something right now. So if they were in mainland China, they would have died? Well, yeah, China does have a death penalty. Oh, shoot. If they were in mainland China, they would have died. Oh, nah.
To appeal the case in 2003, but they had no luck. The sentence was upheld. Those three monsters weren't going anywhere. In 2014, the courts finally handed Fan's skull, the only remaining evidence of her body, over to her family, who had it cremated. The apartment building, located at 31 Granville Road, Sim Sha Tsui, Hong Kong, where the murder took place, was eventually demolished entirely in September of 2012. After several years, in 2016, it was rebuilt as a hotel that still exists to this day. The actual location where the murder took place is now, by some dark irony, a restaurant. 20 years came and went, and in 2020 it seems that the trio never did get their parole, as there's no news out there of their release. That is, except for one of the men. The Yongxing Cho was actually released in April of 2014. It seems that his lawyer was able to appeal and convince the courts that there wasn't sufficient evidence against him. As you might assume, it wasn't too long before he was on the police's radar again. Just recently, in January of 2022, while he was working as a waiter, he groped the chest of a female minor, only 10, and
this is why you should have kept that nigga locked up! He's a predator! This is why you should have kept that nigga locked up! This is what I'm saying! Just leave him in there! Shit, man! Just leave him in there! Why?
And even more recently, he was sentenced to 12 months in prison for that. So as of the writing of this video, he is back in prison. Time will tell if they end up seeing parole in the future. There ended up being a few movies released throughout the years that told the story of this case.
There's movies on this
One
case?
of them was called Human Pork Chop with, my god, have some tact, come on. Another was called There's a Secret in My Soup. This case even became well enough known overseas that it was featured in an episode of Bones, an American crime drama. To this very...
It was on Bones? I've watched that show. Deadass. Like, waiting for the, like, I'm deadass. Like, episode 1 to, like, waiting for that show to come on next, like, the next week. Like, that I've watched that show. They reference this on Bones? Bro, this is that big? I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this.
day, Fan Man-yi's memory is kept alive every year when citizens of Hong Kong celebrate her life on her birthday with a candlelight vigil in the center of the city.
Amazing,
Once again, thank you for watching my videos. If you found it interesting, please give it a like, it helps.
Let me go ahead and give this a like. Let me go ahead and give this a like. Let me go ahead and give this a like. Chad, if I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, and YouTube fam, if I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, yeah, I was not ready for this video coming into it. I didn't know what I was gonna expect. You know, someone just told me to watch the video. I didn't know what I was gonna expect coming into the video, but that was a lot. That was a lot. And if you're tapped in with me here and you're still here by the end of the video and you're still here in the stream, let's just be happy that those boys are in jail and they're never getting out. Because some of these cases don't end with them in jail. They end with them out in like 5 years, 10 years, and they're out free. Like, you know what the justice system is, bro. They're getting better, but it's 2022. Like, I'm so happy he's back in jail. But, like, bro, they really should give him, like, just lock them up again for a couple more years. Not 12 months. It's just lock them up for a couple more years. Like, because, bro, he literally came out of jail off of a murder. And he became, and he did some pedophile shit. Like, bro, what? Yeah, Chad. I can't even know why. I'm just, yeah, I'm off it.